Logical operators. There are 4 logical operators in JavaScript: or, and, not, nullish coalescing. Here we cover the first 3, the operator is in the next article. Although they are called logical, they can be applied to values of any type, not only Boolean. Their result can also be of any type. Let's see the details. Comma or. The or operator is represented with 2 vertical line symbols. Result equals a b. In classical programming, the logical or is meant to manipulate Boolean values only. If any of its arguments are true, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. In JavaScript, the operator is a little bit trickier and more powerful, but first, let's see what happens with Boolean values. There are 4 possible logical combinations. Alert, true true, true alert, false true, true alert, true false, true alert, false false, false. As we can see, the result is always true except for the case when both operands are false. If an operand is not a Boolean, it's converted to a Boolean for the evaluation. For instance, the number 1 is treated as true, the number 0 is false. If 1 0 works just like if true false, alert, truthy. Most of the time, or is used in an if statement to test if any of the given conditions is true. For example, let hour equals 9, if hour, 10 hour, 18, alert, the office is closed. We can pass more conditions. Let hour equals 12, let is weekend equals true, if hour, 10 hour, 18 is weekend, alert, the office is closed, it is the weekend. Or finds the first truthy value. The logic described above is somewhat classical. Now, let's bring in the extra features of JavaScript. The extended algorithm works as follows. Given multiple odd values. Result equals value 1, value 2, value 3. The or operator does the following. Evaluates operands from left to right. For each operand, converts it to Boolean. If the result is true, stops and returns the original value of that operand. If all operands have been evaluated, that is all were false, returns the last operand. A value is returned in its original form, without the conversion. In other words, a chain of or returns the first truthy value or the last one if no truthy value is found. For instance, alert, 1 0, 1, 1 is truthy, alert, null 1, 1, 1 is the first truthy value, alert, null 0 1, 1, the first truthy value, alert, undefined null 0, 0, all falsy, returns the last value. This leads to some interesting usage compared to a pure, classical, Boolean only or. Getting the first truthy value from a list of variables or expressions. For instance, we have first name, last name and nickname variables, all optional, that is can be undefined or have falsy values. Let's use or to choose the one that has the data and show it, or anonymous if nothing set. Let first name equals, let last name equals, let nickname equals supercoda, alert, first name last name nickname anonymous, supercoda. If all variables were falsy, anonymous would show up. Short circuit evaluation. Another feature of or operator is the so-called short circuit evaluation. It means that processes its arguments until the first truthy value is reached, and then the value is returned immediately, without even touching the other argument. That importance of this feature becomes obvious if an operand isn't just a value, but an expression with a side effect, such as a variable assignment or a function call. In the example below, only the second message is printed. True alert, not printed, false alert, printed. In the first line, the or operator stops the evaluation immediately upon seeing true, so the alert isn't run. Sometimes, people use this feature to execute commands only if the condition on the left part is falsy. And. The and operator is represented with 2 ampersands and. Result equals a and b. In classical programming, and returns true if both operands are truthy and false otherwise. Alert, true and true, true alert, false and true, false alert, true and false, false alert, false and false, false. An example with if. Let hour equals 12, let minute equals 30, if hour equals 12 and minute equals 30, alert, the time is 12:30. Just as with or, any value is allowed as an operand of and. If 1 and 0, evaluated as true and false alert, won't work, because the result is falsy. And finds the first falsy value. Given multiple ANDed values. Result equals value 1 and value 2 and value 3. The and operator does the following. Evaluates operands from left to right. For each operand, converts it to a Boolean. If the result is false, stops and returns the original value of that operand. If all operands have been evaluated, that is all were truthy, returns the last operand. In other words, and returns the first falsy value or the last value if none were found. The rules above are similar to or. The difference is that and returns the first falsy value while or returns the first truthy one. Examples. If the first operand is truthy, and returns the second operand, alert, 1 and 0, 0 alert, 1 and 5, 5 if the first operand is falsy, and returns it, the second operand is ignored alert, null and 5, null alert, 0 and no matter what, 0. We can also pass several values in a row, see how the first falsy one is returned. Alert, 1 and 2 and null and 3, null. When all values are truthy, the last value is returned. Alert, 1 and 2 and 3, 3, the last one. Precedence of an and is higher than or. The precedence of an and operator is higher than or. So the code and b, c and d is essentially the same as if the and expressions were in parentheses, and b, c and d. Don't replace if with or and. Sometimes, people use the and operator as a shorter way to write if. For instance, let x equals 1, x, 0, and alert, greater than 0. The action in the right part of and would execute only if the evaluation reaches it, that is, only if x, 0, is true. So we basically have an analog for let x equals 1, if x, 0, alert, greater than 0. Although, the variant with and appears shorter, if is more obvious and tends to be a little bit more readable, so we recommend using every construct for its purpose, use if we want if and use and if we want and. Not. The Boolean not operator is represented with an exclamation sign. The syntax is pretty simple. Result equals value. The operator accepts a single argument and does the following. Converts the operand to Boolean type, true false. Returns the inverse value. For instance, alert true, false alert exclamation point 0, true. A double not is sometimes used for converting a value to Boolean type. Alert non-empty string, true alert null, false. That is, the first not converts the value to Boolean and returns the inverse, and the second not inverses it again. In the end, we have a plain value to Boolean conversion. There's a little more verbose way to do the same thing, a built-in Boolean function. Alert, Boolean, non-empty string, true alert, Boolean, null, false. The precedence of not is the highest of all logical operators, so it always executes first, before and or.